Hey, turd teeth. You weren't there, so shut the F up, or I will be revising your future. Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan Elites. And this happened, although I didn't read the news. Yeah, I don't read the Daily Mail. I haven't read the Daily Mail for years. I made a decision not to read it because it's horrible. And obviously, for this YouTube thing, we've been buying newspapers and we've got the Daily Mail. And why is the beautiful Kate, the Duchess of Drab? You go to pages 26 and 27, and it's. I'm a Republican in the sense I don't believe in royals, but I don't really even care. There's no interest in them at all. But this Duchess of Drab, why does she look awful? Why? What does this? It's just so horrible. Why are you being horrible? And BBC vows to stop actors from mumbling. They're all mumbling. I can't hear them. Oh, and the thing about the Archers isn't real, okay? But in the Daily Mail, we put the Archer's wife on trial. The Radio 4 character who's dividing Britain. I don't know who that is, I don't listen to the Archers. So what's that verdict on our jury of the top male writers? Quentin Lett says, I find the defendant guilty. It's not even real.
Well, I'll tell you what, I listened to that episode of the Archers.
Really?
And it was grim. It was like EastEnders on steroids. It was like just people wailing and crying and screaming. Oh. It was depressing radio.
That there, it's not political, but that's the Daily Mail in an apolitical way. People enjoying being horrible. That's what it is. Women get selfish around their time of the month.
Okay, well this is quite interesting. Daily Telegraph, Justin Welby. Have you heard this?
No.
Well, apparently he had the DNA test and it's revealed that his father, unknown to him, was actually Winston Churchill's private secretary. Yeah, private secretary. He didn't know.
How did he not know? I don't understand. What's the story?
So he believed that his father was Gavin Welby.
Oh, the Telegraph found this out themselves and told him. Is that what he's saying?
So this is a piece of news broken by the Telegraph. So the Telegraph found some evidence that actually Justin Welby's father was
Sir Anthony Montague Brown.
Oh yeah, so Anthony Montague Brown, who was Churchill's last private secretary. And they went to him and told him this, and he decided to have a DNA test to get to the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that it's true.
So what was he, adopted? Maybe he was adopted. A liaison. It was a liaison.
So he's a product of an illegitimate affair.
Right.
Eek.
Mm. And he's the Archbishop of Canterbury. Oh my God, it's the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Okay, so we've had the revelation of the Panama Papers this week. A prime bit of investigative journalism. And this.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is very important for
the front page, don't look at the other thing.
Is it? Yeah, no. But I really couldn't give a rat's ass about this.
No. The only person who would care is him and his mother. Nobody else cares.
Okay, so
you can tell by the hair. The hair proves it.
Yeah.
They're a witch.
Let's do the Mail's take on the David Cameron thing. I mean, this is fairly important news, yeah? I mean, it's front page. What have we got? Front page of the Guardian. It's not the front page of the Telegraph. Mm. And it's not the front page of the Daily Mail either.
But when did this break though? It was a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
So the Daily Mail have actually gone, quite a big piece on it, which is interesting. It's got the tax havens and the 10 questions Cameron's failed to answer. So I mean, we all know what's happened. Basically, David Cameron's father has been linked to this Mossack Fonseca, Panama law firm who deal with tax havens, and it's rubbed off onto Promise, and finally after a few days the PM finally admitted that he'd had some shares in Panamanian.
Yeah, I mean, bear in mind, I've been on holiday and I haven't read the news. Yeah, so I only know this from the headlines. But surely everyone already knew this.
Yeah, this is.
Why is this news now?
This is what I don't understand. Everyone knew that David Cameron's father made money in offshore investment funds.
And if you didn't know, you're an idiot. It wasn't voted for him.
It wasn't a big secret or anything like that. But for some reason, this sort of revelation of papers and the fact that the Blair Moore thing is on there has given this a little bit of body, a substrate to.
Yeah, it's a bit of traction to get it going. And calling for his resignation. Not going to happen. Not right now. Not with the EU thing coming up and everything.
Well, this is sort of my take on it. I would be willing to put money on, if I got decent on David Cameron stepping down after the referendum. As a result of this, there's a lot of tricky things going on for the government. We've got the Tata Steel crisis. We've got the junior doctors strike this week, which seems to be going on and on and on. and now we've got this, which is basically rendering David Cameron powerless.
Yeah.
I mean, this has given Jeremy Corbyn and the SNP and the Liberal Democrats infinite ammo to just
it's like
wipe Cameron aside.
It's like a vote news for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you've got something like that on them,
it's very difficult. So I actually suspect that we know he's not going to stay on PM after this Parliament. Like, maybe he'll bring it forward now. Maybe he'll think, well, the energy seems to be going. It seems to be bumping along.
Well,
Nothing's going wrong.
Didn't I say in our last video that hasn't the honeymoon period finished now? Shouldn't the press should be laying into the government, not giving them a free ride? So is this the start of that, actually, after the debacle of the latest budget?
Well, it's a conflagration. There's a lot of things coming together. I mean, the newspapers, such as the Mail, are pretty anti-EU. Yeah, on the whole.
Yeah.
There are pro-EU papers and anti-EU papers. On the whole, they're pretty anti-EU. So they're actually on the other side of the arguments to the Prime Minister in this. So they're not going to give him as much leeway as they normally would.
Yeah.
So I think, when something like this comes up, normally it'll be swept under the carpet. Oh yeah, we knew all about this. What's the problem with tax havens?
Mm.
What's wrong with people not paying tax?
Yeah. If you're rich, it's allowed.
Yeah. These are the wealth creators, for crying out loud.
Well,
They should have to pay tax. So that's sort of going on in the background. You've got George Osborne's credibility at an all-time low, and that was for a long time. It's been considered the Conservatives' biggest weapon is the George Osborne-David Cameron partnership. It seems strong, stuff like that. It's looking incredibly vulnerable at the moment. It's not at all clear that George Osborne will be the next leader of the Conservative Party,
Not at all, no.
whereas a year ago it was a shoo-in. I think Jeremy Corbyn, the next Prime Minister's question, should get up and say, if, to do a hypothetical question to David Cameron, if you step down after the EU referendum, you guarantee that there's going to be a general election. We're not going to have a sort of a whitewash. Because you've got a slim majority, things have changed. Talk about changing the leader, I think there should be another general election.
Yeah, they don't have to, but...
And I think the Tories would be really on the back foot.
Yes, they would. Yeah, they wouldn't call a general election, obviously, but yes, they would. I mean, when Brown took over, it was very different because they had a bigger majority. Obviously, so it's a very different argument there. But yeah, they don't have to, and so they won't.
Well, it depends who they get. If they get like a lot of unanimity in the leadership election, election for the Conservative Party, if there's a lot of unanimity there, then possibly yeah. So with the Labour thing, Gordon Brown was uncontested effectively.
Yeah. There was nobody else.
Yeah,
whereas now there's loads of people with knives.
Ready to strike. So I think this brings the Conservative leadership into focus. I think we could be looking at potentially a general election. It could be extremely shocking. I mean,
that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's lasted a year.
Yeah, and it doesn't normally fall apart that quick, does it? Goodness me.
I mean, I said it in the last video that the Conservatives are really missing the Liberal Democrats.
Yeah, because they actually knew what they were doing.
They would hate to admit it.
Yeah,
but
that's what it feels like. They just don't know what they're doing. They have no idea.
Well, it focused the Conservatives.
It
focused their eye on the Liberal Democrats. They're the ones stopping us doing what we really want to do, which means David Cameron could, say to his backbenchers, look, not me. You were in coalition with Liberal Democrats. Yeah. If we weren't, then we'd be doing it. Yeah, which would keep them. It would give it that bought him time, and the electorate going to look at the Liberal Democrats watching on all their manifesto promises and everything they've said past 15 years, and taking it out on them. Now the Conservatives haven't got that. They've got to stand on their own feet. They've got to justify themselves, and they've got to justify themselves to the backbenchers, and they're not doing a very good job of it at the moment. Yeah. So they're really missing the Liberal Democrats.
I'll tell you what is interesting. I mean, we've talked about the Daily Mail's coverage of it, but the Daily Mail is very much an establishment paper. Obviously, it's Lord Mayor and he's whatever he is. But obviously, they like to paint themselves as the outsiders. So, whilst the Tories are in government, the Daily Mail have to play a slightly weird game.
Pretend.
Yeah. But the Telegraph don't. The Telegraph are an establishment, and they're much more honest about it. And they're in a weird position in that they are usually very much pro-Tory in a way the Daily Mail aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
But obviously the EU thing and Tories falling apart thing is a tricky it's interesting. Obviously the Telegraph's gone pretty rubbish the past year or so because of the EU, because of these things. It's gone really, really tabloidy. So I look forward to the time when this era finishes and they go back to being a good newspaper.
So here we have in the Telegraph, page 11.
Half a page.
Half a page. PM's going to publish 6 years of tax return. That's all they've got. And on the same page, got owner of 18 million work looted by Nazis revealed. So they haven't got a great deal about it, to be honest. Maybe they're a bit peed off that the Guardian got to break this in the UK. I don't know. But I mean, you say they're pretty Tory. I would say they're effectively an arm of the Tory party.
Yeah, in a way that the Daily Mail are. The Daily Mail are too right wing for the Tory party.
Yeah. So I mean, the coverage is interesting, but the fallout is even more interesting. This has gone on for a week now, after the steel crisis and after the disability cuts crisis. They're saying this is the worst week since the Omni Shambles. This has got to be the worst month.
This is worse than Omni Shambles, isn't it? This is
definitely.
actually much worse. It's just the press haven't
He's
pointed it out.
Potentially he's incredibly lucky in the sense that it's happened so early in the cycle, and if he does ride it out, people will forget.
That's the thing, it makes no difference to the election.
But I mean, Peter Oborne makes a point in Daily Mail actually that Cameron's looking haggard, he's looking tired, and the verve seems to have gone.
Yeah.
From the Conservatives.
He's not as shiny as he was.
No. I will say this actually about the Cameron coverage. There's a few things I haven't said. Jess Phillips came out and said Cameron's father was disgusting, which kind of buries the point that she was making, which was actually a very good point, that we shouldn't be praising people for paying their taxes. It should be the normal state of affairs.
Yeah.
Because the Conservatives were all coming out and giving support how good is David Cameron for actually paying his taxes.
Yeah.
But when she said David Cameron's father was disgusting, that's exactly on the same level as when the Daily Mail came out about Ed Miliband's father and called him the man who hated Britain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And it sacrifices the sort of higher ground that Labour took in that instance. Labour could have, he could have started a really dirty exchange.
But your dad is yeah. He didn't. Yeah, there you go. That's another tick to Ed Miliband, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just goes to prove to me that Jess Phillips, I don't understand people's fascination. She seems to be constantly getting in the news for saying controversial things. It just sounds ridiculous. I don't know. I can't understand why anyone would take her seriously. There's another issue about all this. The fact that this is all directed at David Cameron actually suggests that there's a bit of the next thing that's going to happen is David Cameron will go and the problem will be gone. We've dealt with it, we've got rid of David Cameron. But actually, the paper showed that there are a lot of Tory donors and Tory members of the Lords who have also taken advantage of this situation. So the situation will still be going on even though they've got rid of Cameron. So there's a real danger that Cameron will be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, whereas we all know it was already happening and they all do it. And it's not actually news, it's just a thing. Look, traction, news, get going,
A really powerful thing for Labour to do would be to say, anyone in the Labour Party who's got any links with any offshore accounts have got to come clean now.
Yeah.
They've got to come forward now, and we will publish it so that the electorate knows what we're up to, sort of thing. And that will put the Conservatives in a real
because they have to do it as well.
position. Although, and here's the hypocrisy of David Cameron. I mean, he is a hypocrite. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
He went to his party and said, anyone who's got any links with offshore accounts has got to come forward and declare them now. Got to get rid of them because if you lie about it now, this is a career-threatening moment.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
This was a couple of months after he liquidated his Panama, the shares in his father's. In his father's fund.
Well, I suppose that's the point, isn't it? That it is all an act. It's obviously a PR position. This is me in the media. It's not a real political entity. It's something he's created.
Yeah. I mean, are there issues with having offshore investment funds and in your mind?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Yeah. We know it's legal, and we know that some of it is morally questionable.
Yeah.
Not all of it necessarily. Obviously, it's very complicated.
I mean, there is the issue. It's all these things are sort of couched in that term. There's no suggestion that what happened was illegal, but it's obviously wrong. So the electorate see it as as right, you talk to anyone about this and they say, no, it's completely out of order. Yeah, there is nothing illegal about it.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
David Cameron suggested that there was a fundamental misunderstanding about Blairmore, that it was actually a vehicle for investing in non-sterling investments. It's complete bullshit. There's no reason why you couldn't do that from London.
Yeah.
And apparently the brochure for the fund actually explicitly said that it will not pay UK tax, and it will remain in Panama or offshore, so that it will not be liable to UK tax.
Explicitly.
Explicitly.
So yeah, we'll see you next week then.